Attack the enemy! Victory is ours!
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, or at least everyone who's celebrating Thanksgiving in parts of North America. Happy morning to all the rest of you. Today is a battle from 15 November 2017, and it'll be the first really good standout battle I had in the Ho-Ri prototype. So, as I was starting driving here, I was just messing around with the elevation and the rooftop popping up and seeing whether or not in the X-ray you could see the breach and everything animating up in the air, but you kind of don't because the breach is, it's not all the way extended back. Like, there isn't, like, the loading tray or the safety rails to keep you from having your arm or, you know, your head in front of where the recoil was. So, anyway, you can still see the gun moving up and down with the door opening up. I was also trying to see if it would be possible to fire a shot into the back of this thing with, like, an HE round with a smaller vehicle, like, say, AAA or something. It's get around, sneak around behind one of these things and fire a shot into the open top of the roof. I don't know. I don't know if you can do it or not. I assume you can, but I don't 100% know yet. I haven't had the opportunity to try it. Anyway, I started out heading over towards the A point. Somebody saw me and took a shot at me. I didn't exactly see where it came from. And there was a bunch of artillery also hitting, so came to a stop, counted down the frontal armor to protect me. Didn't see anybody, so kept moving forward a little bit. And as I'm moving in to try and get in on the capture at the A point, somewhat slowly, because I was creeping forward a little bit. There we go, enemy tank appearing. Swung the tank a little too hard. Got a perfect shot that I was looking for, but it fired low. Too bad, because if that had been just a little bit higher, I would have liquefied that T-34 from the inside. He hit me and set me on fire, and I thought, well, this was a fun battle. That's over. Because I figure if he can penetrate me in the front and get a fire and kill most of my crew there, then that's pretty much going to be the end of this anyway. He comes back up again. I tried to get a shot just under his turret. It also fired low again. And then he took out my gunner, and I thought, well, that's it. I'm down to 2 crew members. This battle's over. And for some reason, I've got the gun aimed right where I want it to be. Just under the side of his hull. And he took a shot from somebody down south at the A point, and that distracted him, pulled him off of me, which gave me enough time to reload somehow.
The enemy has most of the strategic zones.
So, watch this craziness that's about to happen. Right as I get reloaded and fire, we have a get down Mr. President moment with a T-34-100. I couldn't believe it. That T-34, the other T-34, the American T-34, is just leading a charmed life with all the slight misses I'm getting, and then a T-34-100 drives in front of my shot. I assumed he hadn't moved in the smoke, so when I got finally reloaded again, I did fire and finally get the shot I was looking for through the side of him, and miraculously survived that encounter. I can't believe it. The T-34 should have had me. And then I was even able to make it into the A point in time to join in on the capture, and a fairly significant portion of the capture, no less.
Allied forces have captured a zone.
Grabbed myself a new crew member to replace the 4 that I'd lost. Checked out the score, couldn't believe that I was still alive and doing pretty well. And took a look at the minimap, realized I probably am going to need to roll forward a little bit and move on up towards the B point. A is pretty well covered right now. And I'm going to see if I can move my Ho-Ri up towards B and help out with the capture and or defense up there. We're fairly well spread out, pretty evenly, and not too badly distributed across the map here. And then we lose a whole bunch of our team up at the C point all at once right there. So that was not very good. And in a moment, we're going to lose even more of our team down here to an M41 that killed the Coelian that was my squad mate just off to the left of me. So while trying to keep an eye off to my right, I swung the tank around up towards B, the tank destroyer, up towards B to try and figure out where that M41 had come from. And we've now lost a good portion of our team all the way up north, so I'm definitely moving myself up to try and reinforce our guys, because they're very definitely enemy tanks are in a position to stop us from taking the B point, if not take it themselves. So again, keeping my eye off to the right while I count on this fence to obscure me from enemy vision. Hauled at maximum speed to try and get to the B point and get involved in the capture here. And I'm going to fall just short. But at least I was already on my way towards the C point, and I just continued that way.
Enemy forces have captured a zone.
I'm trying to come around to the left of the capture point here at C. Keep an eye off to my right a little bit, make a quick check, make sure no one's coming. Spot another T-34 coming up. Actually, this one's a T-39. And get the shot I wanted, but lucky, I gotta admit, very lucky that I didn't continue the gun swinging just a half a second later and hit the side of his track instead of get the penetration shot in his lower front plate. I was aiming lower front plate, and that is the shot I wanted. It was just lucky that he stopped and my gun barrel kept swinging, and I fired just early enough. Now, you may not have seen it, but I saw the exhaust from a tank coming out of the factory over here, so rather than go into the C point, I turned to chase this guy down. Expecting him to be waiting to ambush me here, but I had to at least go chase after him. Turns out he wasn't waiting to ambush me, he was continuing on to the B point. And it's an old familiar friend, an STRV-81. And he turned out to be kill number 4. And then I continued back around in a circle here and headed back in to start taking the C point away from them. And that's when this P-47 came along, and I thought I was done for. But somehow those bombs didn't affect me. They most certainly should have. They should have probably ended me through the back of the thinner armor on the back there. But I've noticed a thing where if bombs are at a slightly different elevation on the map than you, they don't blast downwards. They only blast upwards and outwards. And as far as these rockets, well, I'm just glad that rockets got nerfed, I guess. Didn't quite see that P-47 coming in time to get the gun turned at him because I was watching the F-8F heading away from us. Got into the C point to help with the capture, and then got myself set up to hopefully fire at the F-8F as he turned around to come back at us. But as you'll see, he just barely stayed above where my gun barrel could actually elevate up to, and I never could get the lead on him to get the shot I wanted. And then he perfectly, and I'm sure unintentionally, came in just above my gun maximum elevation, because, boy, he was flying the perfect approach for an anti-tank gunshot into him. But, oh well. That would have been the most perfect thing for this video, would have been to shoot down an airplane with the main gun. That would have made it decidedly the best, the first really good battle. However, this other T-34 up here was going to help contribute. I decided not to risk firing through the fence and just Kool-Aid Man my way through and then get a good clean shot at him once I was through it. And that's what I did. And there was my 5th kill, and then I start taking some pretty serious hits from a 40mm pom-pom gun. Although thankfully he never fired at my tracks, he kept trying to take out my crew. And I was able to back away and wait for the 3 cavalry coming up from the south of me. Well, 2 cavalry. I nearly risked taking a shot here with the broken breech, but then the Panther II showed up and came to my rescue, and I decided instead of repairing or risking a faulty breech shot, I would just charge at the Crusader and T-bone him and pin him in place and keep him from getting away so that the Panther II could finish him. So I blocked his escape and let the Panther II finish him off. Which was actually the other Panther II, but then unfortunately I did then have to start my repair and wasn't able to help the other Panther II right next to me, but at least he had a good angle for his armor, and he was able to finish off the ZSU-37 that was threatening him before I was able to repair.
Let's keep the pressure on. Victory is close.
So I had just missed a 3rd capture over at the C point there, or the B point rather. As we took the B point, I did get the C point. And looking at the minimap, I realized there's 6 of us all the way up in the north here, and only 2 very light tanks between the B point and the A point, and I decided to relocate and overwatch the B point for any counterattacks that might be coming, sneaking around south, and also warn the team just to watch out for air, because there's quite a few of the enemy team left. but not a lot of things going on the ground. And sure enough, there was an SBD3 who crashed out. And as this is a premium, or a gift vehicle rather, not a premium. It is a premium, but not because it's a premium. Because it is a gift test drive, I'm unable to customize it with bushes. So if you can't do that, you've got to take advantage of the environmental bushes the best you can. And this was a pretty good spot for that. So I set up and waited, and 2.5 minutes later, finally, this airplane comes over. And like I said, the Hori just doesn't have the mobility on the gun to be able to effectively anti-air if anything isn't flying directly at you or directly away from you. But as you can see, ended up with 5 kills, 2 captures, and a first place, and that's a pretty good, pretty easy battle to call the first really good battle. I had a couple good battles during the first 10, but this was the best one where everything came together with a victory, surviving, getting kills, getting captures, and being first place on the team. So, not too bad. And I always like getting the Survivor Award. That's a lot of empty, easy free cash, rather. So I made all my shots count. 3 T-34 and T-29s and a T-34-100 and an STRV. Quite a few premiums as well, so not too bad. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Like I said, happy Thanksgiving if you're at someplace that's celebrating Thanksgiving today. And apart from that, have a great day, everybody. Thank you for stopping by and checking this one out. Take care.